Welcome to the second video in the series on the guide for the inclusion of people with disabilities in drills and simulations in Central America. This session will cover the contents of chapters 2 and 3, explaining the inclusive approach and defining inclusive drills and simulations. Let's start with an undeniable reality. People with disabilities make up 16% of the world's population. They are frequently the most affected by natural dangers and emergencies. In fact, they suffer greater losses during and after a disaster, and their mortality rate can be twice as high as that of the rest of the population. This is what our commitment is based on. In order to act, we first have to understand. The Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities shows us that disability is not a part of the person, but rather a result of the interaction between people with physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairments, and the environmental barriers that hinder their full and effective participation in society. It is these barriers that cause exclusion. There are various types of barriers, including physical ones, such as buildings, without access ramps or inaccessible shelters. There are also communication barriers, such as sound alarms that exclude people with auditory disabilities or complex instructions that are not easy to read, and attitudinal barriers, including erroneous assumptions about people's capacities or overprotective treatment that denies their autonomy. In response to this challenge, it is essential to adopt an inclusive approach in risk and disaster management, including drills. This approach is defined as considering the full and effective participation of people with disabilities in preparedness exercises right from the preparation stage. Its objective is to eliminate or minimize those barriers through the constant application of an approach based on human rights and universal accessibility. The purpose of a drill is eminently practical. It is an organized exercise that reproduces an emergency situation to evaluate and enhance the response capacities of people, institutions, and communities. Drills serve as a way of testing the response plans at all levels, and most importantly, of improving them. Recognizing and eliminating barriers is therefore an ethical, legal, and humanitarian imperative. Promoting risk management that takes everyone into account without leaving anyone behind enhances the resilience of the whole community and guarantees that each life is valued, protected, and respected. That is our goal. Thank you for watching. This series of videos is based on the Guide for the Inclusion of People with Disabilities in Drills and Simulations in Central America, which was possible thanks to the financial support of German cooperation and the participation of different local and international organizations. We hope that this information will be a great help in building safer, more inclusive, and resilient communities for everybody.